everybody. Welcome to episode 22 of JobSeeker Live Talk. You know, this is the time I take to bring on various guests to talk about everything and anything regarding the job seeker struggles, tips, tricks, whatever. And hopefully I bring on valuable guests. Hey, if you want to be a guest and you provide, again, you can provide benefit to job seekers, I want you to message me privately to get you maybe on a later show. But hey, I have a guest today that I need to share. Hey, John, how are you?
David, good to be with you.
John Pohl, welcome to the show. Hey, really quick, everybody. Those of you on Facebook Live, LinkedIn, watching this live, YouTube, make sure during today's little session, make sure if you have a question for John, make sure to put it in the comments below. So anyway, John, I brought you on multiple reasons, but let's face it, you and I do something very similar. And listen, I think it's always great to showcase others. I think we all have a niche, but you and I are pretty aligned with what we provide job seekers. And I love that because let's face it, not every career coach or resume writers, specializes in really fine tuning those resumes so it gets past,
right?
Some of the software or whatever you want to call it out there. I don't want to offend any recruiters out there, but we may after the end of the show. Even though I've had numerous recruiters on the show, but anyway, tell everybody, John, that might not know you. Tell everybody about what you do and what you specialize in.
Yeah, well, we have a lot in common, David. The hair, the beard, or not shaved.
I can't grow a beard.
The ATS.
This is terrible.
You've got the great logo of you strangling a robot, which I'm kind of jealous of. I've got a few more recommendations than you, but you're catching up. I'm keeping you. I'm watching the rear view for you. So.
All right.
But I bring that up to mention the fact that yes, you and I definitely align in what we do, but it's not a coincidence that we have the notoriety, we have the recommendations, we have, most importantly of anything, clients are getting the results that they want.
That is,
and I think it's,
yeah, John, that is absolutely it. So, regardless of the haters out there, or somebody, but anyway, we're not going to talk about those right now. But we get the results. I mean, we each get clients that go from getting no interviews to all of a sudden getting traction right away. So we got to be doing something right. I know you're doing something right. But anyway, if you have any questions, make sure to put them in the comments and feel free to mention where you live, where you're calling from, maybe what you do. Share as much as you want. Okay, John. So, what are some struggles that maybe job seekers are having right now? Maybe that's unique to different times because of COVID or whatever. But what are you seeing out there in the job market?
Yeah, so I think the elephant in the room, as you'll probably relate to, the number of jobs open and the industries that people are largely trying to make a move from are coincidentally the jobs that are open. So I'm getting a lot of people from the retail, from the hospitality industry trying to transition into something different. And at all times, oftentimes people are trying to transition. It's just been a little bit more on steroids lately. So the realization of a different company, a different passion, a different priority in job seekers' life has led them to make some maybe moves or look at moves that otherwise would be different. So maybe it's given them the realization that nonprofit is for them or something more aligned with what they really value instead of just a company that makes money. They want to work for a company with purpose, and maybe they don't have experience in that field. So the transition and talking through how the experience can the experience relate to what they want to do? That's been more of the in the weeds I've done lately than say a year ago or 2 years ago.
Okay. Hey, we got people watching from all over the world, watching from Pakistan. So again, hey, they got job seekers everywhere.
They do. They
All
absolutely
right.
do.
All right. So I've been having some clients lately, and these are clients that already have jobs, but maybe haven't touched their resume in a long time because they've been with their employer, but they want to start looking for different roles. But I've been hearing more and more over the last few months, 3-4 months, I guess, that, hey, they're in their 40s and they say, Dave, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up. Right? Because maybe, again, so, tell job applicants out there that are thinking about getting their resume done, and they're not sure, how does the resume process with you maybe lead to them at the end of creating that resume? Maybe they have a better understanding of maybe what they want to do when they grow up. What do clients learn from like this process of, going through that resume, creation with you?
Yeah, so I think the beginning part of identifying a target and talking through and looking at the data, right? So from the software, from the scan, starting from that backwards and fitting them into or measuring how they would fit into that job potentially based on the current resume and the job target. So that's always the beginning. In a way where most job seekers, or a lot of them, are submitting the resume, finding out from an email, sorry, we are looking at other people. They didn't do the reverse engineer process of figuring out ahead of time, right? Because let's just take, for example, someone in retail that wants to get out and they feel like they have a lot of transferable. A lot of their transferable would be the soft skills, right? Can function within other opportunities, but maybe they want to work for Home Depot corporate, right? So they've gone from a store level to a corporate level. So maybe how does their experience and what do we prioritize and highlight in their resume to, let's say, a corporate merchandising job or corporate in-store marketing job at the corporate level from the retail level. So looking at things literally one by one in terms of aligning their experience and identifying what skills we need to highlight to match them to that.
Okay.
I think that's a process people can do, by the way, as you know, they can do on their own or by hiring one of us to help them with that. But be very specific and be very detailed about reading the description, understanding your experience, highlighting and understanding and learning what keywords are and how to add those into your document and where you need to add them in as well.
Sure. And some people can take this advice and maybe they already have a pretty decent resume. They just tweak it a little bit. But as you know, John, most people have a hard time because they're too close to the subject, because it's them. They have a hard time of understanding what to share and what not to share on a resume that's going to get that resume in front of the right people. We do have a question from our gentleman in Pakistan. He's an expert virtual assistant, but he does not have a job in 3 months. He's tired of looking. What should he do as far as? And I'll give one a little bit of advice. Hey, looking for a job for 3 months. That's that's not terrible.
That's not that long. In 2021, that's not long. We hear and read about the job gap and the employment gap, and in my opinion, it's essentially that objection from recruiters has gone away. So I don't think anyone in their right mind would say, well, why have you been laid off for 3 months? So, hang in there would be the first thing, and make sure, you're applying to the right job. So from virtual assistant, you have you have a lot of skills, from organization to communication skills to emailing skills. Maybe you use the CRM. Make sure you're highlighting the right experience and identify jobs that are prioritizing those.
Yeah, and let's face it. Obviously, he's on LinkedIn. And so it's really marketing yourself, because John, I don't know if you're like me. I think so, but 99%, 100% of my business comes from LinkedIn and or referrals from others from LinkedIn. Sure, I post on Facebook. Sure, I post on Instagram, but this is where I interact and live every day. So
more fish in this ocean, David, than Facebook.
Well, and the right fish. Right. And I totally agree. Way kinder, gentler platform as well too. So yeah, but I mean, as far as that virtual assistant, I would really market yourself on LinkedIn. I mean, geez, if you've done business with people that are on LinkedIn, have they written you recommendations? Can they refer any other business to you? I mean, I have a virtual assistant as well that I'm always sharing, what the level of skills that he provides, the tasks that he takes away from me with others, because again, nothing better than a referral. So I would really want you to make sure that you're leveraging LinkedIn, not only for clients, but getting referrals is there as well too. So yeah, John, you know what? Let's share. I'm going to share my screen because I want to share your LinkedIn profile. Because I thought I had a lot of recommendations. Oh Jesus! Now I'm gonna have to. I'm coming after you, John.
Close though, man. We're close.
I'm coming after you. So listen, if you're gonna hire somebody on LinkedIn, or if you're gonna interview, here's John's LinkedIn profile. But if you're gonna hire somebody on LinkedIn, or virtual assistant, or if you're going to hire John, or you're getting ready to interview somebody, man, go to the bottom of their LinkedIn profile. Go to the bottom of their LinkedIn profile and look at the recommendations section. 321. This tells you, darn it, I'm going to say it. This tells you, damn it, that John does an excellent job. You can see who he's helped. You can scroll and see more. You can see the industry they were in. You can, this provides value. So even if you are, again, if you're looking to hire somebody, you're about to interview them, look at that space, and shame on you if you do any type of freelancing here on LinkedIn. You need to be asking those clients when you know they're happy. You need to ask them. You need to send them a request to write a recommendation, besides asking them or email them. But this shows the value that you bring. So again, I don't care what it is you do on LinkedIn. Make sure you're asking former peers, bosses, direct reports, or people that you've helped. And especially if you've been a virtual assistant, asking those people, to write you recommendations. I'm sure, John, people go there and go, hey, I want to hire you because you've helped somebody in my industry, right?
Right. And for the job seeker, I give clients great advice of also pay attention to your recommendations. Get people you worked for to talk about your performance and how you did. But importantly, get people that may be under you that can talk about or leave a recommendation about your leadership, or how you impacted them, or how you coached them. Recruiters, as you know, David, do read those recommendations on LinkedIn. Gone are the days of sending a folder of referral letters, right, in the mail. So one little trick I'll give away for free to people is if you have, and I see this a lot, if you have a recommendation from 2012, and you want to make it more relevant, send that person a edit request, have them change one sentence, and it comes up to 2021, today's date. So you can refresh, in a way, your recommendations and make them more relevant.
That's perfect. They're not even doing anything other than, they're changing something, add a period, take out, put a comma in, I don't care what, right? Right. Yeah, I mean, because again, yes, you want them somewhat relevant, not from when LinkedIn first started here.
Right.
Now you help people with their LinkedIn profiles, right?
Mm-hmm.
John? All right.
Yep.
What are things that clients, so say you're talking to them about their LinkedIn profile, what are things that they just question you about? Like, if you're really given the right, like, are you sure you need me to do that, John? What are some of those things that they're coming back to you and saying?
Yeah, so fundamentally the profile is all about search engine. It's all about keywords, making sure the profile is complete. So all-star, as LinkedIn would give it, all-star status. So that means you have a photo, you have an about summary, you have your skills section, you have your education, your certifications. So first off, make sure the profile is completed. A lot of people don't have a completed profile. Always have a picture. I'm sure you tell people that. And,
Yes.
And make sure that your setting on your LinkedIn profile, that the settings makes your profile or your profile picture visible to first, second, and third degree. A lot of people don't realize that, and I'll be on the phone with them and I'll say, we're first degree connection, but I don't see your photo. You got to add a photo, or if you're not a first degree connection, you can't see it. You're not sure if maybe they have a setting issue, right? Or
Sure.
they just don't have a photo. Most recruiters will not connect with you if you don't have a photo. But the profile itself, David, make sure and use the insights of the job category or the briefcase at the top. And if you consistently are looking at jobs and it says you have 5 out of 10, and these are the 5 that you're missing, start funneling in and changing out some of your skills on your profile, because whatever ones you have listed are not the right ones. And that's particularly true if you're maybe going to make a career change and you have things like event management as a skill, but you did that 10 years ago and you're trying to do something different. That's not a good use of a skill out of your 50.
Oh, I totally agree. John, I get clients that tell me all the time, Dave, why would I already have a resume. Why do I need to put what I did in my job on my LinkedIn profile? Shouldn't the company name and the job title and the dates be enough?
So some of that content does get scanned in searches, and it doesn't have to be, maybe shouldn't be exactly a cut and paste of the resume, but it should contain enough of the keywords and skills to get you found. And also gives the reader an idea of what you did there as well. Remember, we're also writing resumes and profiles for people, not just computers.
Yeah, John, you said something talking about having their picture available only for first degree connections. And hey, if you're on LinkedIn and you don't have it open to everybody and anybody, I'm sorry, but then why even be on LinkedIn?
Yeah, you're missing out.
You are missing out. And I tell you what, I mean, the advice and the advice that John's giving now is for you to show up in the right recruiter searches. I'm sure John gets people that get recruiters contacting them but they're for positions that were like 2 positions ago. And by listening to the tips that John is providing, you're going to show up in the right recruiter searches. Or if you're just trying to make a connection, the better overall your profile is, it looks like you have your what together. And you're going to get the right people coming here. You're going to get the right recruiters. When hiring managers visit you, and they're looking at your profile amongst other people's profiles, they're going to see that you provide more value. LinkedIn even if you don't have premium, this is your free personal branding website. There's so much more that you can share. So when people come to you, John, and wanting interview advice, what's some, everybody gets asked the question, right? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Why do recruiters maybe, or hiring managers even ask that? Where do you see yourself in 5 years, when the average coworker is not staying with the company for 5 years? The average company is not keeping.
It's great. Yeah.
Keeping employees.
I think I read the average time in a job or a company is like 3 years now. 3 to 5 is kind of the trend and the preference. So it's in a lot of interview questions, and I've commented on a lot of LinkedIn posts with a similar take on it. It's not about the question; it's about how you handle it and how you respond.
It's totally true. A lot of times you can get by those difficult interview questions just by, if you don't have something that exactly fits, say, well, you know what? I don't have something that exactly fits, but I think I have something that I could share with you that covers most of that. Can I share that? And they're going to say, yes, right? The faster, the quicker you answer those questions, the more confident.
Another one, sell me this pen, right? In a sales job. People comment that that's such a stupid question, but it's not about selling the pen. I mean, maybe if you're interviewing for a sales job, it's kind of important to understand, features and benefits.
That's right.
That's what you're selling. But it's the response and ability to think on your feet and say, well, can you write your name on this piece of paper? Oh, hand me your pen. Sold. Right. So it's how you think and how creative you are. There's a long list of examples, but the greatest weakness, they don't care what your weakness is, as long as it's not one of the 10 commandments. But give an answer and provide what you are doing to work on it and how you've overcome it or how you are overcoming it. And that's the whole purpose of the question. So don't think that these questions are trying to throw you off or be a trick. It's about how you consume, process, and respond.
That's perfect.
And remember to take time to process. I find that a lot of people, we're talking about interview coaching, they hear a question and, there was this one, and then they've gone knee deep in and they don't know where they're going, right? If you watch a CEO, a politician, a professional speaker, when they're asked a question, they always process it. It feels like 5-minute delay, but it's actually about 2 seconds, and they're processing where they're going to go with the answer. So if I give one interview tip above anything else, take a breath, take advantage of, then answer. Now you've given yourself a little bit of time to, craft your pathway and not just start running down the road and don't know where you're going to go.
I totally agree. Now, so I have my LinkedIn app open and I see that we have a lot of people watching, but I don't see a lot of questions, damn it.
Well, so, we're just answering them before they ask them, I guess.
Oh, well, okay, then maybe we need to be quiet a little bit but yes, make sure if you have any job seeker questions regarding LinkedIn interviews, resumes, the evil resume bots, and or any services that John provides, make sure to put them in the comments below. All right. Besides, I have an amazing LinkedIn profile. I'm a job seeker. I have a current job, but I'm looking to, do something else. Besides the LinkedIn profile, is there anything that I can do on LinkedIn that might get me some, traction?
Yeah. So 90-10 rule. 90% of the time, people, or I should say, people spend 90% of their time on the job briefcase, looking and applying and clicking away to submit 100 applications before lunch and then 100 after. That should be reversed, and they spend 10% of the time scrolling, maybe commenting, maybe writing a post, writing a blog, creating a video, connecting with people at your target companies. It should be reversed. It should be 90% of the latter, and then 10% look at new opportunities. I always relate to, and you may laugh and relate to this as well, David. There is a reason that people in sales, and I love salespeople, but I love IT people, and I love program, and I love marketing. I work with all. But there is a natural skill set in a salesperson that correlates directly to a job search. So when you think about a salesperson, they have built a sales funnel of prospects. They have a tracking sheet. They have a standard reach out message to sell their company's product. In a job search, they are the product, and they should follow the same structure and philosophy. So when you start a job search, whether it's casually or 100% all in, build a list of top 10 companies because you relate to them, their product, their culture, their vision, and then build out a follow-up, a message, and work your sales process. Work your funnel like you are, selling your Salesforce CRM or whatever you're selling for your company. Apply the same thing to your job search. And that's an unnatural skill set maybe for an accountant, but they understand the process. They understand the philosophy. And that's what they should be doing on LinkedIn.
That's solid advice. And John, you and I both know if you're applying for 100 jobs in a day, most of those jobs you have no business applying for. Either right. You're not qualified, you're overqualified, whatever. But if you're finding 100, you're applying for things.
You're not qualified for 100 jobs.
I don't think there's 100, or you're just applying for two. I mean, you need to narrow it down. You live in Washington State, but you're applying for a job in Florida that you would have to move and live there. Just no. Anyway, we have a question.
Okay.
So that's all we got to do is we got to say, damn it, hey, we don't have any questions, and we get questions. So Joshua Young wants to know, any advice on how to better use your space on a resume? So you and I see resumes where it might be 3 pages long, but maybe, to be honest, you make some edits, it's only 2, right? So how do we make better use of our resumes?
I'm going to make an educated guess, Joshua, and say that you're asking that question because you're stretching over that 1 page and you think you should have a 1-pager. That's
wait a minute.
My guess.
But, wait a minute. You have to have only a 1-page resume, right?
No. So, and look up if Joshua can send another note, or you can look up his.
I'm gonna look him up.
I'm guessing maybe he's 5 years into his career. It's okay to be over 1 page, Joshua. Formatting can sometimes help in just a general answer to using space. Make sure that you're compliant with an ATS system, so information straight up and down, no columns, no dividers. Go up to a 10 font, and don't be afraid about going over 1 page. I would doubt that you're at 2 pages and you're trying to, or you're at 3 pages trying to keep it to 2. It's probably more likely you're at 2 trying to make it to 1. ATS doesn't care if it's 5 pages, 10 pages, or 20.
No. So, and Joshua's profile photo looks familiar. I've seen him interact or somewhere. So, So I have a 1-page currently, and I'm recently a mechanical graduate from Clemson. You probably still have some experience, projects in school. Yeah, if it's a page and a half, page and 3/4, who the heck cares? A lot of times what John is trying to say is a lot of times if we have that, we have to have a, one page because our 60-year-old parents told us that we had to have a one-page resume. But you know what? A lot of times you just miss the amazing things that you can share trying to get it to only one page and not have enough content to talk about what this next question that we have here from Scott. I'm getting about 60% interview ratio using your ATS app, but not have received any acceptable offers. Is he talking about yours? I don't have an app.
No, yep. So that's a very good ratio, Scott. The old number that a lot of people can maybe unfortunately relate to is 1 out of 100, so 1%. So you're getting the right interviews. It would seem like the resume and the process on that end is not the challenge, but the interview, the right fit, being more selective in the companies. Maybe some of the fallout is that you don't think they're a good fit. They don't think you're a good fit. It's a two-way street. The focus and the effort could then be on interviewing and other factors that could help you land that job.
Yep. Let's see. Hey, Josh, do you mind if we share your LinkedIn profile on our live right now? So if you're still watching, Josh, if you have permission, we'll put your profile up and we'll provide you some free advice. Actually, we'll send you an invoice.
Yeah.
So I know Joshua just commented, but Josh, can we share your LinkedIn profile and just provide some advice or guidance? And while we're waiting for that, yeah, he doesn't mind. Look, okay, I got proof.
There we go.
No suing me. Let's see here. I'm gonna share this, and I'm going to. All right, and I'm going to let you do all the talking, John. So, all right, provide Josh with some high-level value of his LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, let me actually do this. Why don't you kick it off, because that screen is so small. David,
okay.
Let me look him up on mine. And
yeah, sure. Well, yeah. Well, you're doing that. All right, that LinkedIn banner that you have up there. Yes, it's better than nothing. Pick something industry related or one of those high level skills. Maybe Google mechanical engineering. Google it, click on the images tab, and then when you do that, it's going to bring up tons of different images because you want people to quickly be able to identify industry skill. Don't put anything about, the Clemson Tigers or anything like that, because that still doesn't tell us. I know you're proud of, maybe your school or whatever, but that still doesn't tell us industry or what you got going on. So I would highly suggest, Googling maybe mechanical engineering, click on images, download, a couple, photos, get something up there related. So when people within 2 or 3 seconds understand industry.
Right. I agree.
Okay.
Or a background of West Columbia or, the city you're in, if that's where you're going to be applying for jobs.
Sure.
Your about summary. So it looks like that was the one that was maybe uploaded from LinkedIn that they created, which is actually very good because it kind of gives you a start. But think about as you look at some of the jobs you're looking to apply for, notate some of the soft skills that they're looking for and make your about section, strong communication, ability to collaborate on projects. Make that about section a little bit more less generic, and so and then under your education, that's obviously your sole part on your profile. There's a section there where you can include projects and you can include classes you've taken and fill that up with as much mechanical engineering stuff that you can, and then a lot of room to improve on the skills and endorsements. So you have up to 50, and you've got 5 or 6 listed right now.
Yeah,
so think about
50. It's a lot.
Yeah. So that's Josh, that's gonna, those skills on the list of 50 where you're only taking advantage of 6 of them, those are what matches you up to jobs when you apply on LinkedIn. That's what your job match is based on. So you're leaving a lot on the table by not filling up that section.
Yeah, and what about under his name in his headline? Is there, what could he put besides, what he has there of, entry level mechanical engineering, alumni from Clemson?
I don't totally dislike that. I mean, he doesn't have work experience per se.
Sure.
In order to write something like strategic mechanical engineer with track record, stuff like that is more,
Sure.
When you're into your career. I don't dislike the headline. It kind of tells us what he's looking to do, and obviously Clemson's a great name, especially engineering school. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't dislike that.
So, the part that I liked is Joshua, in your education, you can write a paragraph or two, a lot of content, but tell us like what projects you did. I'm sure you had to do some type of paper or you were involved with some type of classes that you could share and almost share it like a job. So we know, but just besides the mechanical engineering, what skills, what did you gain? Did you mentor any, other students? So, just the advice, we're just speaking out loud because obviously we don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but there is so much more that you can share that would provide value to somebody. So, people go, they might look at your resume and they're going to come to your LinkedIn profile. Maybe there's some things, John, that he could share in that featured section if it was like, if there was any project that maybe they did and shared on a website or something in the featured section that he might be able to help promote what he did in those particular classes or projects.
Yeah, featured is a great thing to call out, David. A lot of people, even well into their career, and even freelancers are not taking full advantage of that new feature, relatively new feature that LinkedIn has. So you can post a link, you can post a PDF. Maybe you have some drawings. Maybe you have some completed projects that you want to share part of it. Just fill up your profile, because remember, that's your branding and your marketing. What's going to make you different from any other recent mechanical engineer alumni? Because let's face it, this is a competition. So.
Oh yeah, it is a competition. So yeah. Joshua says, "Hey, time out, guys. I'm new to LinkedIn, But yeah, no. And here's the thing: spy on John's profile. Now I know he doesn't do what you do, Joshua, but you'll be able to see like the different sections, the different things he's added, what he shared. And then go find some people that are senior in your role and see if, well, just because they're senior doesn't mean that they have a LinkedIn profile that's amazing or whatever. But look for some, because I guarantee you're going to get some, by spying on other people that have been doing this a while. If they have a great LinkedIn profile, you might be able to go, oh, I didn't think about adding that. And yes, but take a look at John's, LinkedIn, and when you make some edits, I don't know about you, John, but maybe I know for me, I'd welcome it. But maybe Josh, after he makes some edits, can send you a message, and at least you can maybe say, "Hey, good job," or change this or whatever.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Contact either one of us. I just sent you a connection request, Josh. So
yeah, that's Josh. I've seen you on LinkedIn somewhere. You either commented on something on my post or I saw you somewhere. But I recognize. I might not remember a name for a while, but when I see somebody's LinkedIn profile photo, that's usually embedded in here unless they change it.
yep.
So I'm glad Joshua that John was able to provide some insights into your profile. So you have to take advantage of everything most people just don't know, John. There's no instruction manual, right? When we get our LinkedIn profile, we have to find out by either somebody like yourself or seeing somebody else's. It really is a shame that in high school or maybe during college, there isn't that, 2 or 3 hours devoted to LinkedIn, although most of those educators don't
Yeah.
give good advice on LinkedIn.
I haven't been to college lately, but I can, and maybe Josh shoots us another message to confirm or deny. There's not, from what I hear from other people and read on LinkedIn, there's not a ton of support, sadly, at the college level. These kids in college are investing so much time and so much money. They may get a general idea of how to put a resume together, or, I don't know if there are LinkedIn building classes at college. There should be. It's 2021. It's the most popular job site and networking site out there. But I just don't know that they're getting enough support to really put that education to use. And I think that's so important.
Well, wait a minute. You know what, John? That should be a job that you and I, go get at a university as just a one-off, course that we teach, right? That you come in once in a while or do it virtually, right? We need to make that happen because I see this a lot. Well, my professor told me to only have a one page. My professor told me on LinkedIn only to do this. And I'm like, do they do it for a living? No, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, now there are some colleges I see that they have career advisors, but again, sure. Even if they have a career advisor, how much are they actually taking one-on-one time or giving a seminar? That's a good question, but there is definitely a need for that.
Oh, he had a class that talked a lot about LinkedIn briefly. There was a day of resume writing. Rest has been on my own. I would like to think if John led a class for an entire day,
one day out of 4 years.
You would become an expert on LinkedIn. It wouldn't even take John. It wouldn't take you a day to talk about a resume and LinkedIn. It wouldn't take you an entire day, three-fourths of a day, or something.
Right.
But John, I think you and I got we got to look into that a little bit deeper and see if they can put us on the payroll at some of these universities.
There you go. Well, you're out by what school do you have by you?
I'm about 3.5 hours east of Seattle, but I got some smaller community colleges I do stuff for, like pro bono, just once in a while. But I think it's time to ask for some money. We do have not getting any interviews or calls. So put a little bit, please, about maybe what jobs you're applying for in your specialty, and are you getting those rejection emails right away? How many jobs you're applying for, whatever. Put down some more information.
I'm gonna try to find his profile.
All right.
too.
All right, you go find him. I'll leave that up there for just a second or two. And please, if you have any questions for John, to please put them down in the comments below. John is already, I tell you what, if you need help with your resume, need help with LinkedIn, especially, well, we've talked a little bit maybe more about LinkedIn, but if you're a job seeker, make sure to give John a shout out. Make sure to follow John on LinkedIn as well too. And John, have you found him yet? If not, what
No,
country?
I did not. I did not.
All right. Hey, what? I know you're looking for operation manager positions. Can you tell us what country or what city or state that you live in, so we can help? We're gonna find your profile, and do you mind if we share your profile on the screen? John, you got a few more minutes to hang around?
Oh yeah.
All right. So yeah, please tell us what country, so we can find you better on LinkedIn. And then, do you mind if we share your profile with all the millions of people watching on replay? There's not a million people watching currently on LinkedIn. All right, there he is. India from
There we go.
Kolkata. As we're watching this, make sure that and I get it. I've been a job seeker. That's kind of how I stumbled across doing what I'm doing on LinkedIn, and I won't bore you in that today, but I get it. You want to apply for as many jobs, but to be honest, a lot of times job seekers are applying for jobs that, again, you're wasting so much time going to the company website. I know, because you're looking for work, but you're wasting a lot of time applying for jobs that you just really shouldn't be applying for. So you have to make sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, and I was going to say that there's so much different in different countries. There's different rules, there's different processes, there's different HR approaches. I've worked with some people from India. They're mostly applying for and looking to move to the U.S., or they are from the U.S., working for or applying to American companies. So, I mean, I think that would make a difference too for Tom. But I know typically from reviewing some resumes from your country and others, it's a little bit more standard to put your picture. A little bit more standard to have more of a CV than it is a resume. So there are some different rules than the sandbox that both of us typically play in. And it also depends on what companies you're applying for as well.
That's a beautiful headshot there. So good job there. I mean, got better than the normal on the headline, definitely. We'll just go to experience. So obviously, with not seeing your resume, but like John was mentioning, maybe putting in some a little bit more about what you did in some of these roles. You got some certifications up there, which fantastic. John looks like he might be able to add some.
Got room, right? Got room to add more skills. I don't know if you can go back down, David. I don't know that.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got insurance. If that's the vertical that you're applying into, then maybe that's a good top skill to have. Maybe you want to change out insurance with operations management or interviewing or hiring or onboarding, because the operations manager is going to have some leadership. So some of the leadership related skills would be good to have. Definitely fill up the 50 and take a look at some of the jobs you're applying for. Under premium, it'll tell you if you're missing 5 skills consistently, then that'll give you the next 5 to add, and then look at some other jobs and start figuring out why you're missing just on the simple ranking system on LinkedIn. The other thing on resume, and potentially if he's using his profile on LinkedIn to apply, David, see it time and time again. It's probably, as much as we talk about keywords and narrative and description, quantify the impacts that you've had. I don't know if, like, that summary you have in your current or most recent job just kind of gives an overview of your responsibilities. But as an operations manager, what processes did you improve? How much did you save money? How many people did you manage? What size was the budget? Be a performer, not just a doer.
Yeah, I agree. People go to your LinkedIn profile to learn more about you. Share that added value. Okay, I know you can't write it like that, necessarily on your resume, but in your about section, it's okay to almost talk like you're just having a conversation, right?
Right.
But yeah, tell us like how you got the things done, like because you can't go into that much detail on the resume, but here, in that about section, yeah, tell us how you did it. And yeah, I think you're spot on. But if you manage people, if you don't have any metrics, I guarantee you have accomplishments, you have achievements. You have to share those, because if you don't share them, you don't have them, meaning the person that's looking at your profile. Let me I don't think a lot of people know this, John. So a lot of people don't know that you can go to that little more button near the top, and you click more, and then you click save to PDF.
Yep.
But I had a recruiter on here more than a few weeks ago. We used to work at the same company together. But he says that if he's not connected to somebody and he finds them on LinkedIn, one of the first things he does is, before reaching out, is he might share this internally with somebody in HR, or compare that to that job. So having, you would never on a resume just put the company name and the position and dates and nothing else. So this is why, and this kind of works as an emergency, I guess, backup resume. But that's why you need and want some of that same content, like John was saying, on here, because again, recruiters do use this as a tool, because they don't need your resume if you really have all that added value right here in this document there. So yeah, it's really a good best practice.
Yeah, and one of the other things I'm seeing as a trend in the last 6 months, 9 months, recruiters are, in some cases, not all, but some cases, they're changing their process a little bit, right? Pandemic has put pressure on them to fill positions quicker. They have a heavy workload. Maybe they are, as you pointed out, David, they're sharing LinkedIn profile or looking at that first, whereas it used to be you'd apply, a week or two or a year go by in some cases, and then they finally looked at your LinkedIn profile, and then so some of that is changing a little bit with the hiring environment and things that we're doing. So it's important to have the LinkedIn buttoned up immediately as well and completed. And that might be, whether you know it or not, that might be your one shot to get contacted, even though you may not apply or see that job for 2 weeks. They're already looking at you in some cases. So, yeah.
Yeah, look, you need a resume. You have to have a resume, right? Because eventually, at some point in time, they're going to ask for it. You're going to have to apply and use it. But it's only a small. It's a needed piece that you need to make sure that you have that resume that beats the bots, that tells your story. But the LinkedIn is the business card of the future. I mean, if I'm at a networking event, I'm telling the person, hey, get out your phone. Let's
scan the QR. Yeah.
Right. And because now I don't need a business card. I don't need you to go out to your car and get your business card, or you left it in your hotel room. I don't need it. Why? Look, I just go to your LinkedIn. I got your picture. I remember what you look like. I got everything there. So hopefully that's why. And even if you're not a job seeker, regardless of why you're on LinkedIn, you need to button up that LinkedIn, profile to be your free personal branding website. I don't know if we have enough time to answer this question, but let's do this.
But what's so funny, David, I was just going to go there. I was just going to say, when you pointed out the purpose of someone on LinkedIn, so historically what happens is they get hot and heavy and busy on LinkedIn when they need a job, when things are so miserable at their company.
Yep.
And they don't log in again for another year or two. And then they say, well, man, I don't have much of a network. The simple answer, Pritam, is consistent. That 90-10 analogy we talked about earlier. 90% of your time, whether you have 10 minutes in the morning to devote to LinkedIn and 10 minutes at night, or if you're an active job seeker, it might more look like an hour in the morning, an hour at night. Consistently add people, consistently communicate, have a top 10 ever-changing list of companies that you want to work for, you are dying to work for. You can change out your top 10. You may say, oh, no, forget them. Move in another company, but have a top 10 and make it a routine, like brushing your teeth. Make it a routine to add people consistently in or around that company or sector, and do it every day. Make it a habit, and not just when you need a job, not just when things are bad at your company, but consistently do it. And it's easier said than done because you get busy and you forget to log in, right? But the thing that surprises me is, the average user on LinkedIn is only in 17 minutes a month.
Yeah.
They're not spending a lot, on average, it's not a lot of time. So beat that average, even if it's just, connecting with five people a week, and it takes you, 10 minutes here and there. Just consistently be doing it, right? Consistency and behavior is what you're talking about managing.
And I think, John, probably a very similar experience to me, but initially when I started using LinkedIn, and I started using it every day, I started seeing the benefits of connecting with others, because it always isn't about that person helping you, but as you grow your network, those second degree connections is where a lot of the magic ends up happening. John might not be able to help me. I might not be helping John, but all of a sudden I have a connection to an organization that John wants to apply for. What if I'm able to make an introduction? People do not, it is full of giving people if you embrace it, whether it's 5, 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day, yes, or take a little bit of time away from, other platforms or whatever.
Netflix.
Yep. Take some time away from Facebook. You're not doing anything over there anyway, except watching me. And then, again, connect with people in different various industries, as long as, and you said it right, John. I mean, you have to engage and comment way more than you're posting or sharing. You have to be, you can't be just a taker. You gotta comment. You gotta engage, not just liking. In fact, they could get rid of the like button tomorrow. I wouldn't care. They
need a laugh button though.
I know everybody's been hollering for that, but you have to engage with the author of that post or poll or whatever. Appreciates the engagement. If you're engaging over time, they'll see that. They'll want to connect with you, or you'll want to connect with them. So, John, man, an hour goes by damn quick.
I know.
Right? Before you know it. So, John, I really appreciate you coming on today, because I really love the fact that we're aligned on a lot of things. Your clients are obviously getting success, and what is the best way for somebody to get in touch with you if they have a question? Or
connect with me on LinkedIn.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And
I accept all connections. So there you go.
All right. Well, see, there you go. I still got room, even though I still got room for about 9,000 connections. You max out at 30,000 people, so there is no. You might as well accept them all, because here's why. You can delete or block somebody if they start selling you Bitcoin or whatever. So anyway, hey, Joshua wants to thank both of us for and He took tons of notes. I like it, Josh.
Good.
So
Good.
tell your friends or whatever to make sure to follow John for his tips and resume tips and LinkedIn tips, because John provides a ton of value to everybody here on the LinkedIn platform. So,
And
all right.
sorry, Josh, that my Bulldogs beat the Clemson Tigers.
If you follow, I assume you're talking about football.
Yeah.
But yes, they did. I saw that. We won't talk about my school. My school's not doing so hot, so we won't talk about them. But John, I really appreciate the value. Value that you added today. And some of you are going to watch this on a replay. If you found this valuable, make sure to please make sure to go to John's profile, hit follow so you can see his daily content that he provides, and the advice and guidance is just amazing. And if you think you need help with your LinkedIn or resume, shoot John a message. And hey, he's giving you kudos. He's giving you kudos.
There you go. I love it.
All right, John, again, thank you for coming on and providing all our job seekers with a ton of advice. And everybody, hey, make the rest of this week your best week ever. Bye for now.
I love it. Bye-bye.